Dutty. Look, I got mud on my kicks, and I got pain up in my wrist, and I got blood on my lip. Hey, only heaven knows it hits, only heaven knows it. I can't curse, it might get worse. This is iller than Corona. I might lights all the verse. I can't get sick with being sick up on the mic. It has its perks. Ain't no gangster, but don't push me to that option. All that hating, it won't work. Had to dramatize the intro real quick, man. Merry Christmas, post Merry Christmas. This is probably a few days after Christmas now. You know, Merry Christmas to your family. Happy holidays. It's a Dutty game. By the way, that is a hip hop record that I released recently on a two-part little playlist. Yeah, I dabble in music. Music has been a helpful thing for me. So I try to use it for good, try to say what these kids might want to hear in terms of benefiting their soul, growing as human beings. And of course you can have some fun with it, as well. Find ways to do that. But, you got to say something that matters for sure if you're a musician of any kind. So, yeah. The song's called Dutty Game. But anyways, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Bless your family. Bless everybody in your family. I hope prosperity meets everybody one day. Peace, sanctuary, all those good things. But yeah, man, let's get into it. I'm not the biggest sports analyst, or I'm not like number one. You know what I mean? I'm not number one for no, like, I'm about to search the numbers and everything when I speak on these things. But the Toronto Raptors, our beloved Toronto Raptors, they've been through the rigors, man. Like, there's this weird perception that we woke up this season to tank, but that's false, man. The Raptors didn't wake up. The Raptors didn't wake up to tank. I strongly disagree with that. There's a conspiracy that Raptors are doing all this losing on purpose all of a sudden. One thing I know about sports, just watching professional sports, like as a spectator, as a person who plays basketball himself, the people that learn how to win, like if they, like, let's say, like, let's take the Spurs, for instance, they win and then they know the formula to win. As long as they have the players who are capable, sensible, with IQ and skill level, they can take the same principles they used to win the first championship and apply it to the second championship and a third and a fourth. So as long as you're choosing the right players and winning organizations, I'd say they consistently choose players they know will be successful, and they stick to that format. Like, so I see Masai Ujiri and the management in Toronto this way. I see them this way because it's been a lot of managers before this period of time, a lot of different faces trying to help the organization to grow. The roots of the Raptors basketball is amazing. You see Vince Carter going into the Hall of Fame. Everybody knows what that story would have been for us if it went the other way around. And God bless his ability, the stuff he does in the city of Toronto, and what he's doing for the youth with that basketball court renovation and just helping the hood to progress in unity. Shout out to Vince Carter for such a legendary impression. But yeah, the Toronto Raptors start this season, the 2024-2025 season. We started very rough all around, but in my opinion, there's a lot of reasons. Injuries, obviously. People are not going to agree with that statement. People are not going to agree with, that statement. But Post championship era, the Raptors go out and they grab this dude, right? He immediately comes home with a trophy. Okay. Scotty Barnes immediately comes into the foray with a trophy. Okay. He already has a crystal ball. He's already Thanos. Bro's already Thanos in the crib as soon as he, you know, bro's already Thanos as soon as he enters the league, right? And that was by far like when I seen that season that he debuted in the NBA, when I seen that season, I was like, yo, triple, like bro's a triple double watch type of player, bro. He's gonna fly down, chase down, block somebody. Then he's gonna, get the rebound off the chase down block. Excuse me. Get the rebound off the chase down block. Then he's gonna push it up the floor. And if you don't stop him from getting to a specific spot to score, where he's comfortable to score, he's gonna dish it, and that's a dime and an assist. So in that one swoop of like 40 seconds, this player can contribute a block shot, a rebound, a bucket, or an assist in a span of like 10 to 15 seconds, 20 seconds. And he can do it in spurts where he might not block every shot, but he'll contest that player really, really well. Then maybe he boxes out and ends up with the rebound off that play too, right? So he's able to do that. Then, of course, push the floor and be a general or a creator for the offense. So they have Barnes in the cut. Like we know all about Scotty. Like he's obviously projected, in my opinion, to be similar to a LeBron, similar to a Kawhi Leonard. In my opinion, like, when you get a player, like going back to what I was saying about managements and about trends and about team trends and how things consistently go like this for most organizations that know how to do that. We're only now seeing the Spurs kind of break down because they no longer have talents like Tim Duncan. Those are generational talents. Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Bruce Bowen in the corner, bang. Matt Bonner making an appearance over there. I could be missing out on some key role players, that went over there. Robert Ory. Yeah, they had a lot. They had a lot going good over there. I hope I didn't miss any key role players. I like to give everybody their props, especially in championship organizations. So Barnes, that's a great choice by Masai and team, right? Clearly, right? He comes out of the college constructs, knowing exactly what to do with himself. You clearly can see that guy has worked on his body, worked on his mind, and he's prepared for a new level of playing. He screams at you in the face in the lower level of the NBA, and he still screams in some people's face right now if you're not able to stop him. So Raptors have a history, is what I'm trying to say. Raptors have a history of choosing correct players, right? I think we're still in that bubble. The Raptors are still in that bubble, in that area where they know they can choose some good talent. We're lucky to have positioned ourselves with draft picks in the past few years, knowing that we're a championship organization, leveraging that power to make sure, when you're doing good, you're able to. It's like when you have a bank account and you have to invest and then reinvest and invest and invest. So it continues to build on top of itself. That's what the Raptors organization is clearly outdoing, right? Out there doing, and probably outdoing organizations. So this lends to my thoughts about why the season and why slowly since the championship ring, it started to look like we don't know how to play basketball. A lot of people say tank, tank, tank. In my opinion, the Raptors are not tanking. They have experienced a history of being upset with the officials. People think that's a game or a joke. If the head coach is voicing his opinion about this numerous occasions, not this season, but last season as well. So 2024, 25 season, he's yelling at the refs mid-court, wilding out. This is happening again. Last season, 2022, 2023, same ordeal. Same ordeal. He had to yell at the referees. He is not hallucinating. Darko is not hallucinating. These calls, and I'm not saying this because I promote my business and career and lifestyle in Canada. I'm not saying these things because I'm biased. Get that out of your head. Anyone watching, get that out of your head. Like, I'm not saying this to be biased. I love the game of basketball. I'm sure everyone else loves the game of basketball, invented by our Lord Jesus Christ. And, you know, Philippines 4:13, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Yeah, sorry, that moment just hit me. Yeah, so the Raptors are struggling with the officials. Darko is losing his cool. I think the reason Darko is losing his cool is because his team is experiencing a lot of injuries this year. You know, it's hard when you're the coach and your team's not healthy. Your team's not staying healthy. The season's just been rocky, like a roller coaster. Like you're in the Rocky Mountains, like kicking a bunch of rocks under your feet, not able to find a fair spot to land your foot, and it's just gravel and you know, awkward pieces of rock and minerals under your feet that you just keep stubbing your toe on. And so you're in the Rocky Peaks right now. You're in that struggle zone. And you know what? The Raptors are comfortable in the struggle zone because you know what? We've been in the struggle zone and we got blessed with the championship. So to now it kind of looks like we're forcibly being put back into that struggle area where the Raptors were kind of like an expansion team energy. So they were like an expansion squad trying to get reputation, trying to build good habits as an organization and a coaching staff and a team. And, you know, the Raptors are a notoriously good franchise. So, you know, the struggle with the reputation now in the modern day era is unwarranted because we've been forcibly placed here where it's like the fan base is questioning what's next. We constantly lose. Now, this season in particular, last season was referees and minor injuries and such. Young players, when you go through injuries, they may not have been capable last year because they lacked Pirtle. I'm gonna be analytical there and say they didn't have a secure big man the previous season. I believe the previous few seasons they didn't have I believe they may have acquired Pirtle late last year, if I stand corrected. So the Pirtle thing got freshly introduced again last season, right? We didn't have a true big for a little bit of time, and there was a lot of holes in the defense and not able to rebound consistently, not able to finish at the rim consistently, and you cannot rest winning championships on Scotty Barnes so early, right? You can't rest that on Scotty so early. So of course we're gonna have a bit of a slow start to the new era of Raptors basketball. But yeah, sorry, it's just a serious matter. Like I usually smile, but I'm trying to keep my thoughts together because this is a deep matter, bro. Like we keep getting spiced up, we keep getting sliced up. So Raptors just keep losing their cool because of the officials throughout the last few years. And then of course having young players going through the injuries, not able to really find a momentum or a rhythm through all those pitfalls. You now have the current moment where it's like they want to turn the corner, they want to be a winning franchise, but the injuries arise. let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's look at let me look at the statistics for the leaders this season. Who's leading the squad? Let's get right to it. Let's get to the numbers so I can give you a bit more context as to why, this particular team is going to be a bit of a struggle squad right now with young players, um, you know, young players, um, these injuries, the referees. So it's going to be a learning process. It's going to be a learning curve to really get through this moment. Let's get in it. Let's get to it here. So I'm just looking at the team stats real quick. Let's get into it. The league leaders based off of what's been going on right now. Okay. So let's see. Let's say Chris Boucher comes off the bench with 10.3 points. Bruno Fernando, in my opinion, they should be giving a lot more run just to give him a chance to get his feet and his confidence understood. I think that's one thing with these organizations. They should really get players there's nothing to lose. Like, get every single player, get Garrett Temple, is that how you, yeah, Garrett Temple, get everyone out there, get all those players' legs on the floor, get everyone's legs underneath them, because you know what? This is a war, bro. Like, not having the referees on your side is a complete travesty and a war. So you need everyone. You need everyone to feel confident while playing the game, because this is when you're going to get the turnovers, right? Because there's a lack of comfortability on the court. The turnovers, uh, the miscommunicating, the pointing the fingers, the depression, the frustration. You need everyone to play, and figure each other out as players. The more that happens and the more unity that the Raptors invent with each other as a franchise, the more they can pull through something like this. So Chris Boucher, 10.3, Grady Dick, 18 points on the dot, shooting 42%. 35 from three is, to me, unacceptable. I don't care, Grady, if you're watching, like, that's unacceptable. Some of the threes you're taking are a little bit questionable as well. They're like half forced. I would like to see if you can use your height, strength, and frame to bump shoulders with a couple defenders and get to the free throw line area, or like the mid paint area, like the mid range to elbow paint area, and just raise up, bro. You know what I mean? Just kind of raise up, give yourself a chance to make most of your shots. Like, I feel like settling for 35% from three, I wouldn't do that as a player. Me personally, you're not far off. Like, 40% is a good caliber to shoot at. I'm not a professional athlete, but like, I'm just being a critique based on the fandom that and the support that I have for the Raptors. So this is just honest opinion. This is not hatred. This is just honest critique. You are a professional athlete, so you putting yourself on television, you've signed contracts to participate in sport. So, you know, I'm allowed to speak on, what can be improved from a player standpoint, no matter what. Like, I need to improve as a player. I play as well, but Grady Dick, 18 points, 42% from the floor, 35 from three. Me as a player, if I was looking down at the stat sheet and I kept reading that, but 42% is great. On 14 shots, that's really good for a young player. And you know what? What's going on with the Raptors is not on Grady. It's not on Grady. This is a big time collective issue. So Emmanuel quickly, he's been injured for most of the season. That looks like about like yeah, like he's been out for quite a few games. Yeah, he's been out for quite a few games, like 31 games. I believe he's been out for about 31 games. Like, that's the whole season. Well, you play like one game. You play like one or two games out of like 31 games, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's how much games the Raptors have played. 31 games. Yeah, they're like 7-24, 7-20 something. I need to look at the record. Let me see. Yeah, 7-24, 14th in the Eastern Conference. So Jakob Pertl, 15 points, 60%. Is that 60% shoot? Jakob Pertl shooting 60% from the floor. That's ridiculous. That's pretty ridiculous. So, the Raptors need to overcome these injuries. That's the brunt of the problem. The lead scorers should be Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett. Now, swinging for RJ Barrett and trade with Quickly was like a wise decision. That helps everybody out. That helps balance out the scoring. That brings in some experienced players for Scotty Barnes. Um, you know, they have a lot of good role players as well. Like the Raptors are not sitting in a pity party of talent. That's one thing I'm trying to make apparent. They're not sitting in a pity party of talent. They're definitely sitting in a pity situation when it comes to the injuries. Like they can't really pick themselves up from that battle right now. So that's one of the biggest issues. The Raptors are not purposely tanking in no way, shape, or form. And missing, uh, if players are missing games, like if players are missing games on purpose or like skipping games, that's on the Raptors organization and whatever investigative conduct there is in the NBA. Like that's on them to be making that mistake. If they're like telling players not to play and such, and then they're not even injured. Like Kelly Olynyk's been injured. Bruce Brown, I don't even see his name on the list. Like we haven't even seen a hint of Bruce anywhere. So he's not even on NBA.com stat sheet right here. Like he's not even literally there, and he's an active player on the roster. I'm pretty sure. Bruce Brown, bro. Like yeah. So and that shows you like they probably forgot to put his name there because he hasn't even played for the whole year. So tons of injuries. The Raptors is not a bad team, bro. It's just an unfortunate situation where they're consistently injured. You have Darko yelling at the referees again last night. The day was December 26th. So, he was just yelling last night. You know what I mean? He was just yelling last night and again, right? So you're in that bubble of frustration where it's like, yo, we're just trying to get it going here. And we don't even get the whistle fairly enough. I have to agree, man. Like, I'm not even pointing out any specific situations. Honestly, you can go to every single game that played this season and probably find an area where the referees are not helping the Raptors at all. Like, there's just numerous games, multiple. I can't even bring up one because there's like so many. I can't even really touch on it. It's been a lot. There's clips of this. Like there's a clip from last night's game where there's like actually a chopped up clip where you can see Barnes drives. He's fouled. You know what I mean? He's fouled going for a layup in traffic. I've seen them call weaker ones. I've seen them call a John Morant one that looked exactly like it. I've seen them call a John Morant foul that looked exactly like the way Barnes drove. It looked exactly the same, and they were driving on the same hoop. So I can actually see both plays playing out in my vision right now. They looked identical, and they didn't call Barnes's, who's the rookie of the year previous seasons now, like he's going to be a star if you allow it. So I've talked for a while here. I just wanted to clear the air. Again, God bless you. Happy holidays to everybody. But as a Raptor supporter, as a sports fan, as a basketball fan, that's what I'm seeing. These guys are just young, going through injuries, having a tough time with refs, and it's just like that. But I just want to say, for those of you that actually listen to my music, you go check it out. All those good things. I appreciate you. Just trying to build businesses, do positive things, um, and help kids. That's the most important thing. We're here as adults to help the youth. So that's my life's mission at this point. I have children. I see children around me every day, and without children, there's no earth. So that's what I'm here with. My music, I just try to put my sensibility into my music and into my businesses, all those things, and keep God first. So God bless you. And hopefully, our Toronto Raptors can just push through this. Yeah, it just is what it is. Tough times, but we'll be all right. And hopefully, like, the referees just stop, you know, they just stop poking fun at us. Like, this is ridiculous. Let the guys play. They're having a depressed time at this point. They're trying to keep it together. So God bless.